I saw my girlfriend's diary left open. What I read changed everything. I took photos and packed my bags and left. 2 days later, she walked into my empty apartment screaming my name. I, 29 male, am a creature of habit. I like my coffee black, my workspace tidy, and my life predictable. Maybe that's why I didn't see this coming, or maybe, looking back, I just didn't want to. My girlfriend Chloe, 27, and I have been together for 3 years. She's vibrant, spontaneous, the kind of person who convinces you to book a flight to somewhere you've never heard of at 2 a.m. I thought she was the beautiful, chaotic yin to my quiet, structured yang. I loved her. I really, truly believed I did. This past Friday, she left for a spa weekend with her friends. She was rushing around, packing her bags, a whirlwind of perfume and frantic energy. I kissed her goodbye, told her to have fun, and settled in for a quiet weekend of project work and video games. It felt normal. Around 8 p.m., I went into our bedroom to grab a charger. That's when I saw it. Her diary. A beautiful leather-bound journal I'd bought her for our 2nd anniversary. It was lying open on her side of the bed, splayed open to a page she'd clearly just written in a hurry. My first instinct was to close it. I'm not a snooper, I believe in privacy, but a few words caught my eye. My name. And next to it, the name Marcus. Marcus is her ex, the one she swore was just a good friend, the one I was always told not to worry about. My stomach clenched into a cold, hard knot. I shouldn't have. I know every fiber of my being screamed at me not to. But I picked it up, and I read. It wasn't just one page. It was months of entries, a detailed chronological account of her entire double life, written in her neat, loopy handwriting. Liam is so wonderfully predictable, one entry read. He'll be working on his stupid design portfolio all weekend. Perfect time to actually have a real weekend with them. That spa weekend? It was a trip with Marcus. The photos of mimosas she'd sent me earlier were from a vacation they took last year. A quick reverse image search on my computer confirmed it. It got worse, so much worse. She wasn't just cheating. She was running a long con. And I was the mark. I was the stability phase. My decent-paying, stable job and my apartment, for which I paid about 70% of the rent due to my higher income, were a convenient launchpad for her. Marcus, a freelance entrepreneur, chronically unemployed, needed time to get his act together, and I was footing the bill for their waiting period. The real kicker was the financial endgame. I'd been saving aggressively for a down payment on a small house. I'd told her about it, excited, showing her listings, planning our future. She'd been so supportive, her eyes wide with feigned excitement. In the diary, she called my dream house the boring beige box. She wrote about how once I hit my savings goal in about 2 months, she was going to convince me to invest half of it, around $30,000, into a boutique marketing agency she wanted to start. An agency that, according to her diary, would be co-owned by Marcus. Liam's such a provider, he'll fall short, she wrote. He'll think he's building a future with me. Once the money is secured in a business account, Em and I can finally get our own place, and I can drop the dead weight. It's a flawless plan. There were details about my family. How she'd charmed my mother, who's been unwell, just to cement her position. She'd described my mom's illness as a convenient way to look like a saint. She mocked a heartfelt gift I'd given her, a framed print of the star chart from the night we met. She said she kept it in the closet and laughed about it with Marcus. I didn't feel rage, I didn't feel sadness. It was like a switch flipped in my brain. The world went quiet and sharp. All the little inconsistencies, the late nights at work, the secretive phone calls, it all snapped into focus with horrifying clarity. I put the diary down. I took out my phone, and with steady hands I took clear, high-resolution photos of every single page from the last 6 months. I made sure the dates were visible. I backed them up to my cloud drive, a separate, secure folder, and then to an encrypted USB stick. That diary was my artifact of truth, and I would not lose it. Then I started packing. Not everything, just the things that mattered. My clothes, my computer and work equipment, my grandfather's watch, the books I loved, the photos of my friends and family. I left her stuff, all of it. The expensive clothes I'd bought her, the jewelry, the furniture we'd picked out together. I left it all, for now. I packed my car methodically. I took a final look around the apartment that was once our home. It looked hollowed out, It felt like a stage set for a life that was never real. I drove to my parents' house, a 2-hour drive. I didn't call. I just showed up. My dad opened the door, saw my face and the duffel bags at my feet, and just nodded, a grim understanding passing between us. He helped me carry my things inside without a word. For 2 days I ignored her texts. The cute, miss you messages, the recycled photos of cocktails. Then came the "Are you okay? You're being quiet" texts. Then the slightly annoyed, "Liam, answer your phone." This morning, the panicked calls started. I let them go to voicemail. And then, about an hour ago, my old next-door neighbor, a kind old lady named Carol, texted me. "Young man, there is a woman screaming your name in the hallway outside your old apartment. Is everything all right?" I know Chloe. She wouldn't have used her own key. She would have expected me to be there, waiting for her like a lost puppy. Finding the apartment half empty, finding me gone without a trace, would have broken her script. My phone is blowing up with calls from her mom, her friends. I haven't answered. I'm just sitting here, drinking a cup of my dad's too strong coffee and getting ready for the next act. Because I know it's coming, and I'm ready. Update 1. The storm has made landfall. Thank you for all the support and advice. It's grounding to know I'm not overreacting. The screaming in the hallway was just the overture. After realizing I wasn't there, Chloe used her key. The sight of my half of the apartment being gone, my office stripped bare, apparently sent her into a full-blown meltdown. I finally answered her call last Tuesday. I had to set the first boundary. "Liam, where are you? What the hell is going on? Half the stuff is gone. My TV is gone." I noted she mentioned her TV, the one I paid for with my last bonus. The receipt is in my email. I kept my voice calm, level. "I moved out, Chloe." "Moved out? What are you talking about? You can't just move out. We live here. You were supposed to pick me up from the station." The sheer, undiluted entitlement was breathtaking. Not, "What's wrong?" but, "You have disrupted my schedule." "I read your diary," I said into the silence. It was like flipping a switch. The frantic anger vanished, replaced by a cold, sharp fury. "You went through my private things? That is a complete violation of my privacy, Liam. I can't believe you would do that. And I can't believe you were planning to defraud me of $30,000 and run off with Marcus," I replied, matching her cold tone. "I guess we both have our disappointments." The line went quiet for a full 10 seconds. Then came the gaslighting. It was a masterclass. She claimed I was twisting her words, that the diary was just fantasy, a way to process her feelings. She said Marcus was just a friend supporting her business dream, and I was being insecure and controlling. I just said, "I have photos of every page, Chloe, every single word." That's when her mom got on the phone. Apparently, the phone was on speaker. Mrs. Davison didn't yell. She used that disappointed, condescending tone that's always made my skin crawl. "Liam, this is incredibly immature," she said. "Whatever is in there, you need to be a man, come back, and talk it through." I was done. "There's nothing to talk through," I said. This is where I laid out the first real consequence. I spoke to the property manager this morning. I've given my official 30-day notice to vacate, as per our lease agreement. Since you are also on the lease, you have 2 options. Either you re-qualify for the apartment on your own income, or you also give notice and we are both out by the end of next month. Your choice. Chloe came back on the line, screaming, "You can't do that. I can't afford this place myself." "That sounds like a you problem, not a me problem," I said calmly. "Which brings me to your things." "What about my things?" she snapped. "Our lease is paid until the end of the month. I still have legal access to the apartment. Yesterday, while you were at work, I hired a moving company. All of your belongings, your clothes, your furniture, everything, have been carefully packed and moved into a 10 by 15 climate-controlled storage unit. A very nice one." The silence was profound. I could almost hear the gears in her head grinding, trying to process this deviation from her plan. "You did what?" "I'll send you the address and the key," I continued. "Just as soon as you pay me back for your share of the last 3 months' rent and utilities you forgot to pay, plus the cost of the movers and the first month of storage. It comes to $3,121.58. I'll text you a formal, itemized invoice. Once the money is in my account, the key is all yours." The sputtering began. She accused me of theft, of holding her property hostage. I just replied, "It's not theft, Chloe. It's collateral. You'll get your things back when you settle your debts. I hung up. The smear campaign started the next day, of course. Vague social media posts about escaping a controlling relationship. Marcus chiming in with supportive comments. It stung, I won't lie. For a moment, I wanted to burn it all down and post the diary pages. But that's not the plan. The plan is a slow, methodical dismantling. They think this is a messy breakup. They don't understand this is an audit. Update 2. The pressure is building, and their tactics are getting more desperate. First, the storage unit. Chloe and her mother did exactly what I thought they would. They went to the facility and made a scene, demanding access. The manager, a guy named Dave, called me as they were standing there. I could hear her mother in the background saying, he stole her property. I calmly explained to Dave, the unit is in my name and paid for by me. The contents are part of a civil dispute over a significant unpaid debt. Ms. Davison can have full access as soon as she settles that debt, or she can obtain a court order. Dave, who deals with messy situations for a living, was unmoved by their drama. He told them exactly that. Ma'am, this is a civil matter. The contract is with Mr. Kent. I cannot grant you access without his written permission or a court order. If you continue to cause a disturbance, I will have to ask you to leave the premises. They left, but not before Chloe screamed that she was calling her lawyer. And she did. Her father hired one. I received a letter full of bluster and legal jargon, accusing me of unlawful seizure of property and infliction of emotional distress. It demanded the immediate return of her belongings and a payment of $5,000, or they would see me in court. They were trying to bully me, expecting me to fold. This was the push I needed to initiate Act 2. This was never about the furniture or the social media slander. It was always about the $30,000. In her diary, Chloe had named their target investor, Mr. Alistair Finch, a semi-retired old money angel investor known for his shrewdness and obsession with personal integrity. My first email to his firm was a soft touch, a carefully worded professional courtesy. I received a generic, 2-line reply from an assistant thanking me for my correspondence. It was a polite dismissal. They likely get emails from cranks all the time. They were counting on that. Chloe and Marcus probably laughed about it, thinking the crazy ex had shot his shot and missed. But I had anticipated that. A single email was never going to be enough. I needed to bypass the gatekeepers. I needed to get the physical evidence into Finch's hands. I put the encrypted USB stick containing the high-resolution photos of the diary into a small, padded envelope. I wrote a very short, formal letter. Dear Mr. Finch, further to my email of date, to which your office replied. I understand the uncorroborated nature of my claim may have led to its dismissal. However, given the significant financial and ethical implications, I feel compelled to provide the documentary evidence I mentioned. The enclosed drive contains photographs of the primary source documents outlining the fraudulent intent behind the business proposal presented to you by Chloe Davison and Marcus Thorne. I trust your discretion in this sensitive matter. This will be the last you hear from me. Sincerely, Liam Kent. I didn't send it to his office. I paid for a professional courier service, the kind that guarantees direct, person-to-person delivery to the named recipient. It was expensive, but it was a crucial part of the plan. I sent it directly to Mr. Finch's private residence, the address of which I found through public property records. It was an aggressive, risky move, but their lawyer's letter told me they were playing hardball. So would I. The package was delivered 2 days ago. The courier sent me a confirmation receipt with a signature. Now I wait. Final update. It's over. The entire house of cards didn't just fall, it was swept away by a hurricane of its own making. The courier package to Mr. Finch worked. A man like that doesn't get to where he is by ignoring a direct, documented warning delivered to his front door. The fallout was not immediate, but it was total. About 2 weeks after I sent the package, a friend who works in finance heard rumblings. Mr. Finch hadn't just pulled his funding, he had quietly flagged Marcus and Chloe in his network. He didn't spread gossip. He simply let it be known that a recent due diligence process on their proposal had revealed significant ethical and financial irregularities that made them an untenable investment risk. In that world, that's a death sentence. The dream was dead. The explosive breakup was inevitable. With no money on the horizon, Marcus saw Chloe not as his partner, but as the source of his failure. He was gone within a week, leaving her to deal with the wreckage. Which brought her to the next problem, the apartment. With me gone and the landlord holding firm, she couldn't afford the rent. She was served an eviction notice. This, I believe, is what finally broke through her parents' protective shell. It was no longer an abstract problem, it was a real, logistical, and financial crisis. 2 weeks ago, a cashier's check for exactly $3,121.58 appeared in my parents' mailbox. The return address was Chloe's parents' house. No note. I deposited the check, and once it cleared, I drove to the storage facility, dropped the key into an envelope, and mailed it to her parents' address. No note from me either. It was a transaction. Case closed. Then last week, the final bookend. Chloe's father called me. I expected anger, but his voice was just tired. He told me Chloe was moving back home. He said the lawyer was a stupid mistake made in anger. Then he asked, "Mr. Kent, Liam, my daughter is a mess and I'm out a considerable money between her debts and this eviction. I need to know, was any of it real?" I didn't gloat, I just told him the truth. I walked him through the diary, the plan to take my savings, the mockery of my family. I ended by saying, "All I did, sir, was refuse to be their business's first victim." Everything that happened after that was the result of their own choices hitting the light of day. There was a long pause. He sighed, a heavy, weary sound. "She burned the diary, said you made it all up. But a man doesn't hire movers and couriers over a simple misunderstanding. Thank you for your honesty." And he hung up. I saw Chloe once, from a distance, a few days ago. I was in a coffee shop downtown. She walked past the window. She looked diminished. The vibrant, spontaneous energy that had once captivated me was gone. She was just a person staring at her phone, her shoulders slumped, looking tired and angry at the world. Our eyes didn't meet. I felt a brief, strange pang of something. Not pity, not regret. Maybe just the sad acknowledgement of a past that was a complete fabrication. The closing of a book I should never have opened. As for me, I'm good. The boring beige box I was saving for is now my home. I closed on it last month. It's small, it's mine, and it's filled with my things. My stupid design portfolio landed me a promotion with a nice raise. I've reconnected with friends. I spend weekends with my family. My mom is doing better, and she told me last week, "I never trusted her smile, honey. It never reached her eyes." Mothers always know. The other day, I was unpacking a box and found that framed star chart I had made for Chloe. I almost threw it out, but instead, I took out the print and replaced it with a new one. A simple, clean design with a quote. "The truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off." I hung it in my new hallway. It's the first thing I see when I come home. A reminder that my predictable, structured life is also honest. It's real. And after 3 years living in a beautifully constructed lie, real feels pretty damn good.